Hi, my name is Dr. Michael Underwood, and I'm the instructor of trombone at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. And I'd like to talk to you today about Bird Blues, one of the etudes from the Arkansas All-State Jazz Etudes. First of all, it is a very challenging piece in terms of register, in terms of technique, and in terms of tempo. So how do we go about this piece so that we are successful, so that we can be our best when the chips are down? Number one, really need to use a metronome all the time. So first of all, practice each section slowly and take out any of the swing in any of these passages. You want to make it so that you feel comfortable with the notes first. Especially in this particular etude, there are a lot of technical passages, and if you take out the swing portion of that, it'll really help you to kind of just focus on getting the right notes, getting them in tune with a good sound, so you feel comfortable with it. The other thing is that you can short long some of these technical passages using the metronome, and this would be, instead of taking like four eighth notes in a row, you can think of it as, instead of going do-ba-do-da, just play it as do-da-do-da, like that, or turning around, be like do-da, do-da. And what you're doing there is you're focusing on each fast slide motion at a time, instead of playing it all together. And that way you can focus on the detail of how to get from note to note, and especially some of those large leaves that we have on that will help in terms of hearing the notes and just feeling comfortable with the slide and the instrument. Finally, in terms of the metronome, when you are playing and you start feeling comfortable with a passage, increase by just increments of 5. So if you're starting at 50 to the quarter note, just go up to 55. The goal is for you to always play from a point of success, and so if you can play it at 50, go to 55. You can play at 55, go to 60, and so on and so forth. And play smaller passages so that you don't have to feel like you have to play the whole thing at that tempo. This is where your really focused practice will come into play. Next, play these passages in the upper register down an octave. Number one, it's going to save your chops. And for those of you who have limited practice time, this is going to be invaluable to you. Because if you got really tired chops after 5 minutes, your practice time is shot. And so you want to play these down the octave to save your chops and to hear the passages. A lot of these, again, are awkward technical passages that if you play them down the octave and slow, you'll get the idea of how they're supposed to sound, and then you can start speeding up the tempo. And I actually would play a lot of these down the octave and speed up the tempo just so you can feel comfortable with it. Next, use the alternate slide positions as marked. Now, in the slow tempos, it's very tempting to not use them, and I would actually guard against that, because what you want to do is you want to feel comfortable with these new slide positions, even at the slow tempo, so that when you get to the faster tempos, they'll flow a lot easier. The thing is, if you play without the alternate slide positions, you're not going to have fun once it gets to a pretty close to tempo. So you want to make sure that you're using the alternate slide positions just to help with the overall flow and being able to conquer some of these great challenging passages in Bird Blues. And then finally, record yourself. In this day and age of social media and our phones, we can record ourselves at any time, so why not take advantage here while we're practicing. Number one, it reveals lots of things in terms of tempo. So if you're rushing or dragging, you'll be able to hear that pretty easily in a recording. Number two, it'll reveal any wrong notes you play. So let's say you have a passage that goes G, F, D, and you play G, D, B flat instead. Well, you're going to hear that pretty clearly that you're playing a minor triad instead of just a passage of a step and a third. Then finally, it refines the slide positions that you're already playing with. So for instance, you're working on your alternate slide positions, you may be having a hard time playing it in tune. It'll tell you whether you're playing sharp or flat. And that's really important. Obviously, you want to play everything in tune. And if you do that, that will help you to kind of refine your own playing so that you're doing your very best. Thank you so much for listening to my trombone tips for the Bird Blues, one of the Arkansas All-State Jazz Etudes. I'm going to talk about this one in depth a little bit more. I'm going to take a couple of passages in my next video, so be sure to watch for that. Thank you.